Today we're at Bretton Priory, built in 1138, and over the years there have been sighted of a monk that's been witnessed by people at this location. And today I'm here with Ian and Gail Buckley, and we'll find out who is here and what is walking these ruins of this priory.
Down the pathway, and we're coming into this building here, I do feel as though there's been a gentleman here, and I feel as though there's been more than one gentleman who actually worked here, because I feel as though he was like like a night watchman or a gamekeeper or something, where people, I would say, came through here. He'd be the one to let people in and out, if that makes sense, because I feel as though there's an upstairs to this building here. I would say there were an upstairs, so I would say there'd be quite a few rooms, and I would say that maybe people lived here in this part of the building. I do feel as though the gentleman I'm talking about, he'd have been in charge. There would have been people under him. So I would say that he were in charge of what went off in this building itself. So I would say, like, you know, looking out of the window or watching for who comes in to open the gates to let him in, and I don't know, go through there. We've not been round there yet, so I feel as though he were like the like a doorkeeper, like opening and shutting gates, and he were the watchman. And I'm also getting the name Thomas, so I'm getting the name Thomas with him. But I do feel as though there was a lot of activity in this building. This building was busy, because upstairs it was busy, so people slept here and lived here. It was as though they had the chores to do in that time, in that era. It was as though they had chores to do. I don't know where, but I can hear the bell pulling, if that makes sense. I can hear a bell pulling. Now I know we've got other buildings to walk around, but I'm picking up somebody ringing the bell. But I want to go back to the gentleman I said was in charge. I felt as though he was the head man, and I do feel as though towards the end of his life he did go frail. When I'm going back to this gentleman, it's as though he was giving like some kind of orders. I don't know why, but I'm seeing like bottles, and I'm seeing sacks, potatoes and stuff like that. So I would imagine that's something to do with the food side of it, and the catering and what they did, what they cooked. I just feel as though they went up, and I felt as though that's where the bell will ring. But I feel so heavy. I feel really heavy just to here. I feel heavy. Because I said it was heavy, my head hurts. Really hurts my head. I just feel as though there's a gentleman what belonged in this building, and all the way round. I feel so heavy in my head. 1570 something happened drastic. Where the connection comes in with the heaviness of the head, and I felt as though someone being shot, but I also got the name George. I got the name George. When I had a little walk round and I stood over there near the door, I got the name George.
Mr. George, can you tell me a bit more about him?
I would say he would have been about 6 foot in height, a bit of a tash and a beard, heavy clothing on him.
Yeah.
Heavy clothing on him. I would feel as though I can hear a lot of noise. It's as though he had some kind of connection where he was in charge. I'm getting where there's a sword involved. again where there's a sword involved. So I don't know if he was injured by somebody or he'd done it to someone. When I said I was feeling the noise and like rustling and movement. There's quite a lot of people, I would say, and I would say like that being on horses. I would say that like there's some horses because I can hear the gallop of the horse. And I'm getting a white horse now. I'm getting a white horse. So whoever were in charge has brought him here, if that makes sense. They brought him here for a reason. It's very so I just feel I can feel a load of bodies being buried.
What do you feel?
How do you feel?
Busy. Busy, not dizzy. There was just rushing around with a sword. And it's all, slaughtered.
I got a pain from ear to ear. Yeah.
I felt pressure in my head and I felt sick.
Yeah, it's horrible, that pressure. We're horrible.
Like, my head's spinning like right headed.
Yeah. Slaughtered.
But getting that pressure in my head again and feeling sick.
It's the pressure because it were in there all the time with me. It never left. So I said, let's walk out and come round
I
here.
smelled death, mate. I smelled something dead.
Yeah, well, I said in there, is there a grave? Is there graves? There's somebody been buried here.
There's
Because
2 here and there's 3 out there. But there could be loads more. It's just these. You can see the stones to these.
that's like a sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
A sword.
Oh yeah.
The sword I got from over
But then if
there.
you look at the bottom, it looks like it's on a stand.
Yeah.
It goes like out and out and out. So that could just be like a... I don't know.
That one is. That one is. You can see
Yeah, see that one definitely.
So as we've moved over here where we thought there was people buried here, we're finding out now there's 2 stones here and they've got markings of swords. Just walking along now, I'm getting a gentleman and I'm feeling he's about 5'7", 5'8", medium build, a bit rough looking, and I'm getting the name Jake with him. I would say we're in his 30, 40, his age would be. I would say he was a monk. What happened to him happened to a lot of this. So what, there was like a rush of panic with him. So I don't know what were happening to him, but there was a rush of panic. Frightened. He felt as though there were a lot of fear. He could see what were happening. I felt as though he was running to get away from the situation somehow.
Give me a time period for us, Jake.
Once again, I still say 1570s. Something of March mean anything. I'm picking up March. It could be his birthday or it could be something what's happened here at that time. As I was talking about this young man, suddenly just out of the middle of nowhere, this feather has been found, so it's come off a bird. It's just strange that it's come at the moment we were stood there. When I picked up from back there, I just felt as, like you said, there's a lot being slaughtered because I felt the sword.